in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas
for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom.
Good evening, respected Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul, Director of Tibet House, the Culture Center of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, New Delhi. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our participants joining us from across the world. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Pempadun, and I serve as a Deputy Program Coordinator at Tibet House, New Delhi. Tibet House, the culture center of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, is truly delighted to welcome each and every one of you to this scar gathering, Chokor Duchen, also known as the Festival of Turning the Wheel of Dharma, marks the precious occasion when Lord Buddha Shakyamuni gave his first teaching after attaining enlightenment, the profound discourse on the Four Noble Truths at Sarnath. This sacred day, observed on the fourth day of sixth Tibetan lunar month, which is one of the four major Buddhist festivals, and a powerful opportunity for accumulating merits and engaging in spiritual practice. As part of this care celebration, we are deeply honored to have Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul to kindly lead us in the ceremony of taking aspiration vows, a beautiful practice to reaffirm our commitment to the both of wisdom, to path of wisdom, compassion, and altruism. We invite all our participants to engage with a sincere, heart and a clear motivation as we enter this profound spiritual space together. Now, with folded hands and great joy, I invite Geshe to kindly begin the session. Over to you, Geshe.
Thank you, Pembertonla, the program coordinator of Tibet House, Cultural Center of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And also welcome you all, both offline and online participants, to observe this day as the Buddha's turning the wheel of Dharma. And as the Pembertonla very clearly indicated, that this is a day that the Buddha, as Prince Siddhartha, after attaining enlightenment, he remained silent for 49 days, and at the request of the king of gods, kings of gods, Indra and Brahma, Indra offering the conch to the Buddha, symbolic of the requesting the Buddha to blow the conch of the Dharma to be reverberated everywhere that the wisdom is heard, practiced, and the ignorance is eradicated, that individuals and the world at large experience the ultimate fearlessness and infinite happiness. Also, that the Brahma offered the wheel is symbolic of the Buddha, requesting the Buddha to turn the wheel of the Dharma. So, but this the Buddha had to Varanasi and turned the discourse on Four Noble Truths. So today there's a commemoration of that, and it's very important for us to know the significance and how to commemorate this day. Is finally, let's keep in mind that it is to stop the tears and the pains of us. So how to stop the tears, and this is the main purpose, which we are not to forget. And for that matter, from our own experience, we contemplate a little bit more, become the sense that it is somehow is all related to our internal ignorance, our internal wrong way of thinking. We need to fix that. To fix that, we need somebody else to teach us how to fix it. So the Buddha appeared on the planet Earth just for that purpose, to teach us to spread this light, that the darkness of ignorance will be eradicated. So with this motivation, setting proper motivation, let us visualize all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, particularly Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the enlightened masters from the different traditions, Theravada, Chinese tradition, and the respective the Buddhist traditions from different countries, and the Tibetan Buddhism. Within Tibetan Buddhism, Sakya, Kakyu, Nyingma, Gelug, Chonang, Pudong, Pudun, Shaluk. So all these traditions, let us visualize all of them with us, blessing us, to inspire us to engage in the steady contemplation meditation of the wisdom and compassion, the two wings of a bird to cross the ocean of samsara. So let us also not miss to visualize your two grandparents and all your family members, including children, and all other sentient beings living on the side. Here, we have to visualize ourselves like the mother, and all others are like small children who are so immature in their thinking and so vulnerable, and with a great aspiration to help them to get to the state of total freedom, freedom from the mental defilements. So with this motivation, the whole practice that we are doing together here is to awaken the hidden treasure within us. And how to awaken this, and the very purpose for the Buddha here on this earth is to help us awaken this hidden treasure within us. So that is to awaken the wisdom, so that the mental obscurations in the form of self-grasping ignorance and all layers of ignorance can be eradicated. With this, the seed of perfection within us, no matter what religion that you're following, no matter what gender, what geographical location, which geographical location you are living, it doesn't matter. We all have this treasure, inner treasure. So our job is to awaken this, that eventually that you experience total fearlessness in infinite happiness, and that you're also able to share this wisdom with all the beings. So with this aspiration, we're going to do this practice, and this is the best way by which to commemorate this day, the kindness of the Buddha, the Buddha Shakyamuni, and His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who has been solely for all the beings on planet Earth. So as a part of this program, I request Shalinala, who has been associated with Tibet House for many years, to lead this prayer, and then the where with the recitation of the mantra chanting and others, I'll be there to assist. So, Shalinala.
Thank you, Geshe. Enthused by great compassion, you taught Enthused by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Taking refuge and generating Bodhicitta. Sangye chodan soge chonam la chanchu bardu dagni kyapso che dage jitso ke pe sonam ke drola penche sangye drupa sho. Sangye chodan soge chonam la chanchu bardu dagni kyapso che dage jitso ke pe sonam ke drola penche sangye drupa sho. Sangye choda soge chonam la changchu bardu dagni kyapso che tage jinso ke pe sonam ki lola penche sangye drupa sho. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings.
Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is freed of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, which through the knowledge of all lead hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, which through the knowledge of paths causes those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and through the possession of which helps subduers expound a variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata, and protector, to you I make prostrations. The one who has illuminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you, the Buddha, I make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings.
Okay, okay, we'll recite the Ye Dharma mantra together, essence of dependent origin mantra together. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Tum Tesham Tathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha.
Page number 6. Meaning of the tendril Ningpo mantra. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well is taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light, and non-composite. Such is the nectar-like Dharma I have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I will retire into the woods. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. It is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the 3 times, I pay obeisance. Page number 7, the 4 seals of Buddha's teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are of the nature of suffering. All phenomena are of the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of eons. The Buddha does not wash the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. Instructions on parting from the 4 attachments. If you're attached to this life, you're not a spiritual practitioner. If you're attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you're attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there's grasping, you do not have the view. Page 14, praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the four-destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I'm supreme in this world. To you who were wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, formed supremely pure, wisdom motion like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy feel qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the Sangha, I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the 4 faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Page 29, the Heart Sutra, the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya Triple Gem. Thus did I hear at one time. The Buddha was dwelling on Vas of Vulture's Mountain in Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara: how should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Sharadvati Putra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unseized, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomena. high element, and so on, up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, Bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering should be known as truth since it is not false. The mantra of perfection of wisdom is declared, Tyatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose from that concentration and commended the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya saying, well said, son of the lineage. It is like that. It is like that. One should practice a profound perfection of wisdom just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha having thus spoken, the Venerable Sharadvati Putra, Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya those surrounding in their entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Buddha.
Recite the Harsut mantra 7 times together. Tyatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Tyatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Tyatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Tyatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Tyatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Tyatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha.
By the teachings of the three supreme jewels possessing the power of truth, may inner and outer hindrances be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, may all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified, may the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified, may we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma, may all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma. May auspiciousness and perfect happiness pervade this place now. Page 35, 8 verses for training the mind by Geshe Langri Thangpa. With a determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, May I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I've discovered a jeweled treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard him still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all this remain undefiled by the stains of the eight mundane concerns, and may I, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From my two collections, vast is space that I've amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose mind's wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Page 37, Seven Limb Practice, excerpt from the King of Press, the extraordinary aspiration of the practice of Samantabhadra. I bow down to the youthful Arya Manjushri. You, the Buddhas, the lions amongst humans, gone to freedom in the present, past, and future, in the worlds of 10 directions. To all of you with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy of aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with the sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world, to all you Buddhas visualized as real, I bow down. On every particle are Buddhas numberless as particles, each emits a host of bodhisattvas, and I am confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with Buddhas in this way. With infinite oceans of praise for you and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sugatas. Beautiful flowers and regal garlands, sweet music, scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime essence, I offer to you, victorious ones, the Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings in spectacular array, I offer to you, victorious ones, with transcendent offerings peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, I offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I have done, with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and ignorance, all these I openly lay bare before you. Lift up my heart and rejoice in all the merit of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers, hearers still training, and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who have attained a Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening, all of you are my guides. We'll turn the Supreme Will of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize parinirvana, please stay with us for eons numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated by making prostrations, offering, and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddha stay and teach, and now dedicate all this for the full awakening of all beings.
Short offering, page 40. 40. Dearest ground, adorned with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun, and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it. All sentient beings enjoy this pure land. O Sajib Do
Four dharmas of Venerable Gampopa. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the dharma. May I be blessed that my dharma practice is on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is freed of flaws. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. The four dharmas of Venerable Bhikshu Mahasattva. Becoming utterly frustrated with the ignorance that grasps their true existence, please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Nirathayami. Page 42, The Foundation of All Good Qualities by Lama Tsongkhapa. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again, please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous karmas follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. The root of the teachings is keeping the pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all other migratory beings. Please bless me to see this, train in supreme bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. So I develop bodhicitta, but I don't practice the three types of morality. I will not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I've pacified distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyzed the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of calm abiding and special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the two attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I have become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who show the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities of the stages and paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara.
Okay, we'll recite this maximum verse, the praise to Lama Tsongkhapa. First in English, followed by the chanting. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroy hosts of demons without exception, Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sage, land of snows, no sun trouble your feet and make prostrations. Next, we'll recite this, chant this in Tibetan. Lo sa cha be sha la so ba de me me ze je 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 de se je ge 我不加门，看见个作业做个吧。罗萨扎贝夏拉索巴的me me za de je je re se te me ge de wo bo ja de yang han je ke de so ye so ga ba lo sa cha de sha la so wa de. Okay, next we will do the generating the mind of consummate yoga in Tibetan. Tamje juga sim kepa. Okay, thank you, Shalinder. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, next, generating the mind of consummate yoga. This thus far, what we did thus far is the roadmap created for attaining enlightenment. Now, based on the roadmap which we have created thus far, we then start walking on this, based on the roadmap. So the practice of mainly the 4 points, the practice of the shamatha meditation, the practice of renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom of emptiness, this 4, and then at the end we take the aspiration bodhisattva vow. So as a part of that, let's first do the shamatha meditation, 5 minutes of shamatha meditation. Ready? Okay. Thank you. Okay, should they be someone who are new to this practice? I'd like to share with you that this, as I said earlier, this is the walking based on walking towards enlightenment, walking towards attaining fearlessness and infinite happiness for yourself. In other words, to awaken your Buddha nature, awaken your hidden treasure inside. Meanwhile, we need to know how these actually work. That our mental defilements, which obscure the hidden treasure, this needs to be eradicated. And to eradicate that, we need to resort to a very powerful remedy. And the remedy we come to learn that I see that there are many of you from Nalanda Studies, Nalanda Master's Course Batch 1, Batch 2, Nalanda Diploma Course Batch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and recently the introductory course. Of course, there we don't really go too much into emptiness, but those from NMC 1, 2 and NDC 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, we do know that emptiness concept, this is one which actually liberates us from all the mental, the pains, the fears, anxiety, and so forth. So this is the ultimate solution. So there's remedy to unravel the hidden treasure within us. But then this wisdom as the remedy, to what extent, how it works, it entirely depends on the motivation. Even if the very sharp axis lying there next to the poisonous tree to be cut, but if there's no motivation in at the heart of the carpenter or the woodcutter, we see that this axe will not do anything. So this axe must be used by a very powerful motivation. And the most powerful motivation that we can think of is Bodhicitta, the desire to eradicate the mental defilements completely so that you can be of maximum benefit for all the demonstration beings. And for this motivation, to feel that the degree, the intensity of this motivation, we need to have the experience of the renunciation with respect to yourself, that I have to get away from my miseries. Unless we have that thought within us, we can't really move this, or we can't really shift this mindset to others, wishing to attain Buddhahood for the benefit of beings. So with this mind, the second point that we're going to do is the renunciation. And the single point meditation, which we did just now, that is what is known as single point meditation. This is to build the stability of your mind. Now we require the analytical meditation to upgrade our thinking, the thinking cognitive, the facility of our mind. We need to upgrade that. To upgrade it, we require what is known as analytical meditation. So renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom, emptiness, all these three constitute analytical meditation. So analytical meditation meaning that here, collectively, we're going to do that based on what is known as the guided meditation. And I'm going to give the instructions, and let us see that each one of us try to invoke the respective experiences to the best you can. So with this in mind, first renunciation, and at times we may feel that what we are doing and our natural way of thinking, these two can be very dichotomous, can be very going in the opposite direction. But never mind, don't worry too much that part. Sometimes people say that so this practice, what I'm doing turns out to be very superficial against my natural thinking. My natural thinking doesn't really flow in line with how we are being guided. Yes, that's very true. Because of this, we require training to undo our bad habit of the thinking pattern. So with this in mind, even though you may feel that what is being guided and what your natural thinking is, these two may go as divergent. Let's not worry too much about it. So this is where your teacher may be so good in music and playing the keyboard, and whereas you practically keeps mimicking the teachers, your teacher, but still you just produce noise, no music. But it's only through constant the repetition that what is once a noise will turn into music. So this is exactly what we're trying to do here. This is known as the practice. So instead of giving up, we should be feeling so happy. We should be feeling so meritorious that on this occasion, the day the Buddha turned the first wheel of Dharma, the day the Buddha turned the wisdom, the light of the wisdom, or shown the light of the wisdom to the world. So on this day, we are learning this practice, how to renounce my miseries, and I will expand my heart to embrace all demons essential beings with unconditional love, universal love and affection, and then cultivate the wisdom to see the reality, to remove the darkness of ignorance. So with this mind first, the renunciation. Ready? Okay. Try as much to follow the instructions and don't try to correlate with what I'm sharing with you now, with what you've learned before, read before, or whatever. So this is the time you want to correlate, you can, not now. You can correlate after the session. At the moment, take the opportunity to make the most of our being together here, to invoke the experiences to the best you can. Are you ready? Or renunciation. Renunciation is to renounce our miseries, is to not renounce our happiness. To renounce our miseries, we need to know how to renounce the causes of the miseries. The Buddha indicated, Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava, all these phenomena arise from the causes. Hetum Tesham Tathagato Hyavatat, what these causes are is taught by the Tathagata. And but the Tathagata indicated that ignorance is the root of the cause of the miseries. And within this, the ignorance, Buddha identified several levels of ignorance. Ignorance which misconceives impermanent phenomena as permanent, which misconceives miseries as happiness, which misconceives impure things as pure, which misconceives what is selfless nature as of selfhood. To eradicate these four misconceptions, the Buddha taught the first three seals and concluded by the resultant state, the practice of the first three seals. What result you will experience is shared as the fourth seal. The first seal, all composite things impermanent. Composite here refers to things which are composed of material parts, such as things which are made of atoms, electrons, protons, and so forth, and things which are made of temporal parts, made of the parts in time. So whatever is composed of these two kinds of parts should necessarily be in permanent nature. The way the physics, the particle physics explains about how the physical world is in constant flux of change on the particle level, on the element particle level. And on the metal also, the mind, which is nothing but made of the temporal parts in time, also goes through instantaneous, the momentary, the changes. And this impermanence, all composite things are impermanent. Impermanence is of two kinds, the gross and the subtle. It's extremely important for us to contemplate on the gross impermanence. Gross impermanence, meaning impermanent phenomena whose continuum terminates. For example, our youth. Once upon a time, you were just a teenager, and then you grow as an adult. Your teenager is gone. It'll never come back in this life forever. Likewise, we have beautiful days with your parents, with your grandparents. Once upon a time, your grandparents, they left the world. Your parents also left the world. This is how the world works. And these beautiful days will never come back again. These are the gross impermanent. This is what marks the reality. It is not only confined to you. but what happens everywhere in the world, in the universe. It's so important for us to contemplate on these things. 200 years ago, look at the ruins of the forts and fortresses. These are the proof, the witness. These are the proofs that once upon a time they existed such a powerful people like Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, Genghis Khan, and so forth. Where are they now? They're all gone. This is the reality of impermanence. These fortresses, the ruins, these are the proof that the ones they existed. And 200 years ago, there were people of your age, some younger even, older, the parents and the children working on the career. And the parents have so much expectation from the children. And where are these now? Whether the aspirations of the children and the parents, whether they accomplished or not accomplished, they're all gone. Not even a single person left today. And it's not that we are more fortunate, we are alive today. It's a matter of time. 200 years in the future. Today, 2025. 2225 from now, 200 years later in time, not even a single person out of these 8 billion human beings will be alive then. That's for sure. For one excuse or the other excuse, people leave the world. Whether our aspirations are fulfilled or not fulfilled, we all have to leave this world. And those people who are wise, who know the destination, the future destination, where we're going, the future, who can plan for the future, where we're heading towards, these people who can plan for that, these are the wise people. Those who are so engrossed in this life, have no clue of what the future is, what it's going to be like after 50 years, after 100 years, after 200 years. These are unwise people. So this is where the contemplation on all composite phenomena to be impermanent is so important. If you don't believe, you look at the beautiful sunset, which everybody enjoys. How long does it last? Just few minutes and disappears. Beautiful days, your youthful days, they're followed by old age. The Buddha indicated that whatever comes together ends in separation. Whatever is accumulated ends in exhaustion. Whatever was born dies. This is reality. So with this impermanence marked by determination of the continuum is possible only if there's a subtle impermanence involved, a change that you see within a span of 10 years is possible only if the change is happening on the yearly basis, which in turn is possible only if there's a change happening on the monthly basis, weekly basis, daily basis, hourly basis, minute by minute basis, second by second basis, millisecond by millisecond basis. Yes. So in other words, the change that you see in your body, so where the millisecond by millisecond the change is happening within a body, within the body of your parents, with the house, the planet in which we live, all composite things are necessarily going through momentary changes. This is known as the subtle impermanence. If you contemplate on that level, momentariness of all composite phenomena is very scary, and yet this is a reality. The only thing is that our eyes, our mind is so gross that it does not have that capacity at the moment to see the subtle realities of the momentariness involved with all complex phenomena. So those people who are so wise enough to see the limitation of one's own mind, they try to contemplate deeper to see the deeper reality, to see the subtle impermanence. But the subtle impermanence, once we realize, it's very scary. It's like it's so like a very strong person picks you up and throws you in a very fast moving train. Your body is like a train, very fast moving train. The whole world is like a fast moving train. And if that happens, somebody picks you up and throws you in a very fast moving train, what will you feel? Very scary. So much of fear. Why? We don't know where this train is taking us. Faster train, more of fear. Yes. And who decides where this train is taking you is entirely decided by the train driver. If the driver is your mother, no doubt it'll take you to a fixed spot. But unfortunately, if the driver is a terrorist, if the driver is under the dictate of the terrorist, will only take you to a slaughterhouse. In our case, there's very fast moving train like a body, very fast changing the body and the world. So when you are a teenager, you see that your time is like walking or it's like crawling. When you're just a young adult in your 20s, the time seems like walking. When you're 30s, time seems like running. In your 40s, the time seems like you're jumping. In your 50s, your time feels like you feel the time like flying. This is what happened to each one of us. Those who was in the 50s, 60s, 70s, you have the experience. Those who are in your teenage, those in 20s, you don't have that experience yet, but you're bound to go through these experiences. It's very scary. So in our case, if this is the reality, that our mind is moved so fast, our bodies move so fast, towards what? Towards death. And after this, what happened? It entirely is determined by the train driver, like the mind. Your mind is the train driver for us. Unfortunately, although the mind per se is very neutral, but it is under dictate. In our case, it is under dictate of the worst of the contaminations, worst of the terrorists, which is self-grasping ignorance. As long as we are under the dictate of the worst of the contamination, self-grasping ignorance, it'll only take us to the miseries, the slaughterhouse of the three kinds of suffering. This is what the Buddha indicated as all contaminated things are of suffering nature. Worst of contamination, which is the self-contamination, self-grasping ignorance, being in the sleep, being in the dream, the dream dictates what your feelings. We have no choice what dream I will have. We have no choice. Dream dictates. The sleep of ignorance dictates what kind of experiences we go through: sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, anxiety, anguish, and so forth. It's very scary. This is what the Buddha indicated is all contaminated things are suffering nature. And suffering nature is of three kinds. Suffering, the manifest suffering that we go through. One moment such a manifest suffering is good enough. The loss of the acute pains, the loss of near and dear ones, loss of your dad, mom, and someone who you love so much. That's good enough to nullify all the past experiences of the wonders, picnics, merriments, festivities, birthday parties, celebrations, so forth. One moment is just good enough to nullify all the past experiences of the wonders. We see that all the wonders that the so-called wonders and the merriments, joys, we see them as so shallow, hollow, meaningless, and so superficial in the eyes of this one moment of a tragedy, of the acute pain that we met with. Yes, that's very true. This is what the Buddha indicated as all the contaminated things are suffering nature. Wise people can think in their line, this is reality, way ahead of time. They can see that. And at the time that one is hit with these tragedies, you are prepared, you will not be shocked. Whereas unwise people will be shocked. So this is where the contemplation on this or contaminated things of such nature is taught. Yes, contemplate on this. I realize the reality. Is there a way out of these tears, endless tears? Is there a way out? Yes, of course, there is a way out. So how to get away from these tears, otherwise endlessly moving? 2024 stopped on its own. Nobody did anything to stop it. Likewise, when will these tears stop? The tears, the pains, anxiety, when will they stop? They will never stop. And oftentimes, many people, they take to extreme steps of the suicide and so forth, think that this will stop the problem. This will not stop. Superficial, in the eyes of other people, it stopped, but your journey is your journey. It'll continue, will never stop on its own. So how to stop this then? Yes, well, we talk about the impermanence of two kinds. There's one category of impermanence where without effort, it will continue endlessly, it will perpetuate endlessly. Where only with the effort, it can be stopped, brought to an end completely. What is that? Of the tears, our ignorance, our miseries, sickness, aging, death. The Buddha said, stop the birth in samsara, and all these inevitable miseries will come to an end. The bewilderment, confusion, miseries, the pains, they will all stop. How to stop that? For that, we identify what are the cause of these tears. The ultimate cause of the tears is found to be ignorance. What is ignorance? Ignorance is a mindset whose apprehension of the reality, whose apprehension doesn't tally with the reality. And what do you do to get rid of this? To introduce counter force, very powerful force, but is that the wisdom? To remove the darkness, it is only through the light that the darkness can be eradicated. Likewise, it is only through introducing the light of the wisdom that the darkness of ignorance can be eradicated. What is that wisdom? Wisdom, by the very definition, is a discerning mind whose apprehension of the object tallies with the reality. What's the reality? The reality is what the Buddha indicated as the third seal. Everything is the nature of emptiness, selflessness. Just as you in the dream, you see dream is real, dream ghost is real. Dream ghost, seeing the dream ghost is real is ignorance. And outcome of this is the fear. It happens only when you are in the dream. Whereas, what is wisdom? To see dream ghost as empty of being a real ghost. When does it happen? It happens when you wake up. What's the outcome? Outcome is that the fear, the dream fear dissolves. So for that, what should we do? We have to wake up. If you don't want to feel the fear of the dream ghost chasing you, you have to wake up. So this is for the reason, this is for this reason that the Buddha is revered as a fully awakened one. The Buddha taught us how to wake up from sleep of ignorance. So how to wake up? And what is that like to wake up? Just as when you wake up, you see the dream goes as not real. Likewise, our job is to see everything in a dream as not real, but like dream. All coming from your mind, nothing objectively real. How do you know that? Okay, so those of us who are, many of you are from Nalanda studies, you already have good exposure to emptiness concept, like dreamlike nature, all phenomena. And those of us who are new to this, don't worry. I'm going to give you a very quick, say the intro of what this emptiness is like. And for the beginners, although it may sound very different or sound quite complex, don't worry. You also have the capacity to understand this, provided you resort to the very correct knowledge, systematic knowledge, and the complete knowledge. So with this in mind, I'm going to quickly share with you what this wisdom is like to see everything like a dream. Okay, first let us think of ourselves that the one thing that is always where we have a problem is always related to I. There's I. We see I as so real. I, or the self, does it exist? Answer is yes, it does exist. It does exist. People say that there's no self, there's no person. That's not true. The self does exist. But the misconception is that the self is seen as so concrete, objectified. That is a misconception. And how to get rid of this misconception? Okay, just think of this self. Okay, think of yourself. What are you doing? I'm meditating. And what is this body doing? My body is in meditative position. Okay, how does this person appear to you? Who you identify as I appear to you? Like a dream that your mind is creating it, or as so objectified, so solid, objectified there, independent of your mind. Yes, of course, it's so objectified there. This belief is self-grasping ignorance. How do you know that this ignorance is not valid mind? Yes. To evaluate if this perception that the self as so objectified, subject real, to evaluate if this is valid or not. Remember what Nagarjuna taught. If the mirage were to be water, but not those close by the mirage see water. With a similar token of reasoning, applying this to the self, if the self who identified as I would exist objectively, not like a dream, why don't I see this person or this I as I go closer to this object? Okay, now let us go closer to this object to see if it does exist the way Nagarjuna indicated. So this mind which goes closer to this object is known as, to the self, is known as ultimate analysis. Technically speaking, we're subjecting this self to ultimate analysis. Subjecting yourself to ultimate analysis, amazing experience. If you do get a glimpse of this, it's extremely healing. All the fears, unnecessary anxiety, they're all dissolved. With just having a glimpse of this will help you dissolve all these unnecessary mental stress, anxiety, and so forth. There's an amazing experience. Okay, subjecting this self to ultimate analysis, we end up seeing, how do you do that? How do you subject self to ultimate analysis? By going closer to the self. Going closer to the self, just ignore all those things which are not the self. You are interested to identify the objectively existent self. And going closer, you end up seeing a very thin layer of the skin of your body. Behind that, the fatty tissues. Behind that, the muscles, the cartilages. Just go there. Those from the medical background, you know exactly the biology of your body. Just go inside. You see the cartilages, the muscles, whole skeleton. Just go inside, whole skeleton. The heart, the lungs, the liver, pancreas, intestine, gallbladder, and so forth. Now tell me, these solid parts constitute the element of earth. Which of the element of earth is to be identified as the objectively, intrinsically as the self? None. Then what about the element of water? 4 liters of blood, which is pumped in and out by the heart to the different parts of the body. Of course, that is not to be identified. That cannot be identified. That is not to be identified as the object, as the I, as the self. Element of fire, 2,600 joules of energy of your body. Of course, not as the I. Element of air, 4.6 liters of air that you breathe in and out through your lungs. Of course, that is not by intrinsically identified as this self. Element of space, 99.99% of your body is vacuum. The space occupied between the electrons and the nucleus is way more expansive in comparison with the space occupied by the individual elemental particles. Yes, but I'm a solid person. Space vacuum in nature. If this space is also not identified as intrinsically as one with the self, what is left? My consciousness, my mind is left. People can see me, people cannot see my mind. And I'm a male, I'm a female. My mind does not have a gender. Gender is posited based on the body. So this mind is also not identified as intrinsically as the I or the self. Now you have come too close to these 6 elements which constitute you as a person. Which of the 6 elements is to be identified as intrinsically as one with yourself, with the I? None. Okay, if you're very sure of this, then see if leaving aside the 6 elements, keeping aside the 6 elements, remove the 6 elements, and see if the self exists as intrinsically as different from these 6 elements. The self exists as differently from 6 elements. Remove the 6 elements, what happens? Nothing is left there. Okay. Now tell me, you have come too close to the object, objectively, but it's the self. No way. I'm discovering that nowhere the self is to be identified. Stay in this experience for a while. For some people, there can be a tinge of the goosebumps, tinge of a fear can come sometimes. Or for some, an extremely profound, tranquil experience can come at the core of your heart. And for some, cool waves can flow through your body. To experience that self is not way to be identified as objectively as real. Okay, this doesn't mean the self is empty. It simply means the self is empty, objectively empty. Whether self exists or not is not determined by this ultimate analysis. It's to be identified by the conventional analysis. But ultimate analysis only determines if the self exists objectively or not. So you discover that the self is empty, as objectively empty. Stay in this experience for a while. Wow, that's amazing experience. Amazing, very profound experience. What's the benefit of this experience? Yes, just as when you subject the self to ultimate analysis, the self is discovered to be empty objectively. Likewise, if you subject all your miseries, mental disturbance, agitation, anxiety, sorrow, and so forth to the same analysis, subject ultimate analysis, we see that they will, just as self-dissolve, they all will dissolve. Your fears dissolve, your anxiety dissolve. Amazing. Dissolve means it transcends your sorrow. This is what the Buddha indicated as transcending sorrow is absolute peace. You experience absolute peace. This is what you're seeking. Stay in this experience for a while. The experience of emptiness, and the experience of emptiness, all your sorrows are transcended, dissolved. And as a result, a profound peace, very stable, reliable, profound peace dawns in you. Stay in this experience for a while. Okay, we'll quickly move to the Bodhicitta practice. Okay, good. Okay, good. This aspiration to remain in this experience of emptiness where all the sorrows are transcended. This is known as so this is known as the renunciation. Okay, next Bodhicitta. For the Bodhicitta, we will do the first 2 immeasurables. Out of 4 immeasurables, we'll do the first 2 immeasurables. Okay, ready? And whatever teaching of the Buddha, be it the Theravada Buddhism, or the Chinese Buddhism, or Tibetan Buddhism, or Buddhism of any specific country, we see that the foundation of all the Buddhist teachings should necessarily be compassion. So, and of the family of the practice of compassion, we see the Bodhicitta practice. This is the supreme of all. So, with this mind, as an individual, we can practice a Bodhicitta based on the 2 methods: 7-fold causative method to generate Bodhicitta, and the method of equalizing and exchanging self for others to generate bodhicitta. But in group, usually I do the four immeasurables to be concluded with the bodhicitta aspiration, for the reason that these two methods may take a lot of time. So we are only left with like half an hour. So with this in mind, let's just do the first two immeasurables. Ready? Okay. Particularly with this practice, oftentimes people report that this practice doesn't really tally with my natural thinking. This practice turns out to be so superficial. Yes, if it is superficial, particularly you should be feeling so fortunate, for the reason that I am trying to take a U-turn of my thinking from how otherwise I'm flowing towards very compassionate thinking, taking U-turn, which is so precious. Okay, ready? This requires great blessings from all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas who actually experience universal compassion. Invoke the blessings of all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. And meanwhile, you are generating this compassionate mind for the benefit of all sentient beings. Also invoke, also bring to your visualization all the Dhamma sentient beings, your two parents, your family members, your children, and all Dhamma sentient beings with you. Okay, first immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. Cause of suffering primarily consisting of self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. May all my dear sentient beings be freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. I will take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. The Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you're making such a courageous commitment, like the mother after all these many years of raising her children. Today, the eldest daughter, just age 12, and the eldest son, age 11, two of them come to the mother, telling the mother, "Mother, please take rest. You've done everything for us. We're already grown up. We'll take care of all our siblings." And the mother couldn't believe her eyes and ears. She was so proud and happy today to see your having made such a courageous commitment. This is exactly what happens to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. They're so happy and they're proud of you for having made such a great commitment for all Dhamma sentient beings. And this, the pride and happiness Buddhas, Bodhisattvas feel, invoke their compassionate minds to send forth nectars, very soothing lights towards you and all Dhamma sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the bodies beings yours, washes of all the miseries and the causes of miseries from the minds of sentient beings to yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all the Dhamma sentient beings, you're intense happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sighing with relief. Next, immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my Dhamma sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes happiness. The causes happiness primarily consisting of the most fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness and the most beautiful mind of the Bodhicitta. May all my dear sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The Buddha's Bodhisattvas witnessing that you're making such a courageous commitment, they're intensely happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke their compassionate minds to send forth nectars or soothing lights to pursue an ultimate sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the bodies beings yours instills in all happiness and the cause of happiness in the minds of sentient beings in yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all the sentient beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sighing with relief. underscoring all the five measurables is unconditional love. Just abide in this experience of unconditional love towards all the sentient beings. Imagine that you are looking at the eyes of each of the sentient beings with total love and affection and care and embrace. To the extent that each one of them feels themselves so special in your eyes. This feeling of unconditional love. This is the basis. This is the extremely healthy seed for you to germinate, for that to germinate into Bodhicitta, the most beautiful mind in the entire universe. The desire to become Buddha for the manifold dimension beings. With folded hands, let us make a Bodhicitta commitment together 3 times. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. Okay, just for information, when you say may I become Buddha, it doesn't mean Buddhism. It simply means that the hidden treasure within you, Buddha has the connotation, is a Sanskrit word. It means the awakening or awakened one. Awakened one. So you are saying that may my mind be awakened so the hidden treasure inside me becomes manifest, that you experience fearlessness and infinite happiness, and that so fearlessly you'll be able to share this wisdom with all the demonstration beings. This is the meaning. So with this mind, let us make this communion 3 times together once more. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. Every time you make this Buddhist commitment, the entanglement of the self-centered attitude that is being unentangled every time you make this commitment, there are millions of entanglements of the self-centered attitude. They are being untied, unentangled one by one every time you make this Buddhist commitment. So precious. Slowly transform this beautiful mind of the Bodhicitta into a spotlessly clean moon disk at your heart, horizontally sitting with the heart. Oh, it is amazing that you made such a courageous commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of dimensional beings. But keep in mind, no matter how much you squeeze a handful of sand, no oil comes out. Yes, I know that. I have a Buddha nature with me. I'm not like a handful of sand. I'm like a handful of sunflower seeds, squeezing which oil does come out. I have the Buddha nature within me. If this were the case, why not? Why, since primordially, time immemorial, primordially, why this Buddha nature is never awakened? Yes, that's correct. Since time immemorial till today, I've been deceived by the 2 demons, self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude. I've been deceived by the 2 demons, thinking that these 2 are the best of my friends. And today I'm disillusioned by these 2 things, that I see that I don't see them as my friends anymore. That the demons, I'm going to do everything to exterminate these 2. What are we going to do? I'm going to resort a very powerful remedy. What is that remedy? The non-dual wisdom of the emptiness. What is it like? Okay, let's quickly retrieve the experience of emptiness, which we meditated as the 3rd of the 4 seals of the Buddha's teachings. Okay, what are you doing? I'm meditating. Okay, now let's subject ourselves to ultimate analysis the way we did earlier. We end up seeing the 6 elements: earth, water, fire, air, space, and consciousness. Okay, now tell me, which of the 6 elements is to be identified as intrinsic as I? None. If none, remove the 6 elements. See where lies as the intrinsic or objective self. Nothing is left there. To my amazement, to my surprise, I discovered that the self does not exist objectively at all. Stay in this experience for a while. And this is a weapon you're going to use to combat with the self-centered attitude, self-grasping ignorance, so that Buddha energy inside, the hidden energy inside, will be unraveled fully. Okay. So slowly transform this most fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness into a spotless, clean, thumb-sized white Vajra, vertically sitting on the moon at the heart, at your heart. Okay, that's amazing. Now you have the blaze of the non-dual bodhicittas, the two bodhicittas. The moon is symbolic of the conventional bodhicitta to eradicate the self-centered attitude. And Vajra is symbolic of the ultimate bodhicitta, the non-dual wisdom of the Arya Bodhisattvas to eradicate the self, to eradicate all the mental defilements, both afflictive and cognitive obscurations. To assure you that your Buddha nature or the seed of perfection will be awakened fully within you. Okay. Okay, that's very fortunate. Let us not forget your two parents and all of them as your children. All that demonstrates how many beings are suffering there in the Gaza Strip, how many beings are suffering in Ukraine, and how many beings are suffering in the various families, domestic violence, and so forth, injustices, and so forth. All these unnecessary problems are there. Just generate very strong compassion to resolve the demonstration beings. And this compassion invokes your Vajra moon at your heart, multiply infinite number of times. Just as you have the Vajra moon to assure that you're going to experience fearless and infinite happiness, you're going to share this Vajra moon, which multiplies infinite number of times. Share one side of Vajra moon at the heart of your mother, one side at the heart of your father, one side each one of family members, including children, one of each of the beings here in your own country, in the entire world, in the entire Milky Way galaxy, in the entire universe, not every being, many creatures, the tiniest of creatures, from the unicellular organism of the amoeba to the biggest of the blue whales in the oceans, from the tiniest of the insects to the biggest of the elephants in the wilderness, everyone and the human beings, spirits, hungry ghosts, hell beings, animals, everyone has to share Vajra moon from you, which you so kindly shared with them. Okay, meanwhile, let's not forget the Buddha's Bodhisattvas, they're watching us. Yes. Why not we invite all Buddha's Bodhisattvas to be the witness as well as the guests to our undertaking the ceremony of taking aspiration Bodhisattva vow on this very auspicious sacred day of the Buddhas make the first turning of the wheel of Dharma. So as a gesture of making this request, let us slowly stand up along with all demonstration beings to make 3 prostrations. Okay, if possible, see if you can sit on your right knees to take the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. See if you can sit on your right knees. Unless you have backache problem, knee problem, so forth, you can sit on your right knees to take the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. Okay, page 50. Page 50 for the offline participants, page 50. So just visualize all the Bodhisattvas. You have already made the request for them to be the witness and the guests to our engaging in the ceremony of taking aspiration Bodhisattva vow. So like your parents, just imagine that you as a little girl or a little boy, just age 4 or 5, for the first time in your life, you're making public appearance on behalf of your school, and your parents, they leave behind whatever they have to do that day. They leave behind everything to join the audience, waving their hands to you, saying that we are here, we're so proud of you. This is exactly what all the Buddhas Bodhisattvas are doing today. Just as you have made the request, they all take it very serious. They come here, waving their hands to you to witness, to be the witness to what you're doing today. And you, although you are a very little girl, little boy, you as a very responsible child, you bring along with you all your siblings to also take part in this program. This is exactly what you're doing with all the demonstration beings, like your siblings. You're bringing them to take part in this taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow together. So with this in mind, let us wholeheartedly recite the following verses. I will explain the verse very quickly. The first verse. What we are saying is that what we are doing here is to awaken, to make the hidden treasure become manifest. And how to do that is, yes, this is a journey. It's not an easy task. It's a journey, because that if somebody were to invent a capsule, taking which this incredibly the feeling of fearlessness and infinite happiness were to be discovered or were to be invented, then all the billionaires will buy that. And actually, no pill can create that. This journey alone can create that for you. So this journey, because of this journey which we have never experienced before, we need incredibly great support. The greatest support that you can think of is the Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. The first line says, I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. And this journey also involves the road. Journey means road. If the road is blocked by the boulders, fallen trees, and so forth, again, you cannot undertake the journey. And this road is none other than your own mind. Your mind must be freed of the mental negativities, mental negative thoughts, negative karmas, and so forth. We have to remove them as quickly as possible, as much as possible, and best way, and but to do so very effectively is by confessing these. So the second line says, I confess the negativities individually. Now the road is very clear, but if the car doesn't have enough fuel, again, you cannot undertake the journey. This car is none other than your own mind, and this mind must have enough fuel of the virtues. So how to do that is by rejoicing in the virtues of others, virtues of yourself. Third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. Okay, now the road is clear. You have a great support of Triple Gem, and the road is clear, and your car is enough fuel. What kind of journey I'm going to undertake? The fourth line says, I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart, a journey of awakening my potential fully. Okay, this is what we're going to read. Let's read this wholehearted 3 times together. Imagine that all beings are, you are leading this practice, and all beings are joining us, and all Bodhisattvas, they're watching us. I go for refuge to Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. I go for refuge to Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. I go for refuge to Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. The next 2 verses begins with invoking Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas to be here to us. And the first verse is about who succeeded in this journey. Flipping through the history book, we see that there was once a Prince Siddhartha, prince known as Prince Siddhartha, and he succeeded. How did he succeed? By creating 2 factors. The first, the factor of having generated very powerful motivation, Bodhicitta, and the second factor, to materialize this aspiration, this Prince Siddhartha engaged in the Bodhisattva practices such as the 6 perfections or the 10 perfections. And the next verse says, if this is how he succeeded, I will also follow his footsteps. I will also create these 2 factors. I will also generate very powerful bodhicitta, and likewise to materialize this aspiration, to actually awaken my Buddha nature, I will also engage in bodhisattva practices. So wholeheartedly, let us say this 3 times together. And imagine all beings are joined. You're inspiring everybody to join you. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwelled in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall have true successful train in the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, Damdul. shall I too successfully train? Likewise, for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully train the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, peace be he to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully train the Bodhisattva practices. Feel the joy of having received as Bodhisattva vow. Indeed, this is something to be celebrated. And on this very sacred day, you have generated this mind, which is so precious. And imagine that the mother, after all these, you as little girl, little boy, after all this, okay, those of us who feel the pain, just sit down very comfortably. The pain shouldn't distract us from creating this thought process. Just imagine that you as little boy and a mother, after all these many years of hearing complaints from the school principal, today school principal comes escorted by other teachers, and the mother is very apprehensive. What kind of complaints? The school principal said, no, we came here to congratulate you. What for? Your daughter and your son, two of them, were appointed as best of the students of this school for this year. The mother, after all these many years of receiving complaints, today she couldn't believe what she's hearing. This is exactly what has happened to all Buddhist bodhisattvas, that after all innumerable lifetimes, the Buddhist bodhisattvas, they only wish that we shun the negativities, and therefore we are freed from the miseries. On the contrary, we chase up the negativities, we embrace the negativities, we continue to suffer. And while the Buddhist bodhisattvas, all these innumerable lifetimes, they only wish that we embrace virtues, we experience the maximum happiness. On the contrary, we shun the virtues, and we always remain deprived of the happiness. And today what you do is something very different, which made all the Buddhist bodhisattvas extremely relieved, happy, proud of you. And this pride and happiness Buddhist bodhisattvas feel invoke the Vajramuna at their hearts to multiply infinite number of times. Like rain shower, they descend to merge with the one that visualize at your heart, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. Likewise, all these innumerable, infinite replicas of Vajramun from the Bodhisattva's heart descend like rain shower. They descend to merge with the one that visualize the heart of your mother, at the heart of your father, at the heart of each one of them members, including children, and each of the sentient beings in your own country, the animals, human beings, insects, hunter-gatherers, god and goddess spirits, all the creatures, trillions of creatures in the oceans, trillions creatures in the wilderness, in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, and the entire universe, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. Amazing, amazing. This incredible, great wonder happening. And the best way by which you repay the kindness of your parents, this is the way. And all the beings as your amazing kind parents, today what you did is the best way by which you wish to repay the kindness, and today you did it. And with respect to the offerings that you have to make to all Buddhist bodhisattvas, Buddha declared that one moment of generating compassion far excels the gifts of the whole universe filled with gems and offered to Buddhist bodhisattvas. If this were to be the case, what I mentioned of our having taken the aspiration bodhisattva today, so today you have made the quintessential offerings to the Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the Buddhist bodhisattvas. And imagine that His Holiness in the earlier days, every time there was a teaching happening, he would make sure that he gives this aspiration bodhisattva vow to the beings. And today we are doing this, and this would make him truly so happy, so proud of you. And this greatest offering to His Holiness, to all Buddhist bodhisattvas. And of your life, you see that there's nothing more meaningful than what you did today. And this is the basis which will make sure that the hidden treasure inside will be awakened to experience fearlessness and even happiness. So this is the greatest meaning that you've given to your life, and today you have done it. Is a meaning. All these wonders happening because of the blessings of all the Buddhist bodhisattvas. As a gesture of thanking all the Buddhist bodhisattvas for that matter, let us again once more stand up along with all the messenger makes to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhist bodhisattvas. Okay, please take your seats now. Next page. Page 51. Okay, now we are about to finish page 51. Okay, the kind of practice that we just, if we think of your own life, we see that in our life we met with so many people. Some are connected with these teachings, some are not connected with these teachings. And what makes the difference? So there are two things. One is that to meet with this teaching is not easy. So somehow all of us, we're connected with this teaching. Let's not take for granted that these things will happen automatically. Out of 8 billion human beings, how many people got opportunity? Forget about the animals, insects, and so forth. How many people, even 8 billion human beings, how many of them got opportunity to meet with this teaching? So less, so less. And among those who meet with this teaching, who have met with this teaching, how many they take this very seriously? So less. So we have to create two factors. One, to meet with this teaching in future lifetimes. Number two, once we met with this teaching, then the next is to take it very seriously so that awakening continues to happen. Otherwise, like taking 10 steps forward, 10 steps backward, and net zero. So therefore, this is something that we need to consider very seriously, that finally the thing is for your own well-being, to stop the tears of samsara for you, for family members, and for all the sentient beings. So with this mind, this verse that we are reading is for us to be connected with this teaching continuously in the future lifetimes. So they say this 3 times together. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized and awakened mind of bodhicitta in this way shall, in the following manner: today my life has borne fruit. I've well obtained this human existence. I've been born in the family of the Buddha and now one of Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall it disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence an awakening mind has been born within me. Is a supreme ambrosia that overcomes the suffering and death. Is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world. It is a supreme medicine that quells the world's disease, is a tree that shelters all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence, is a universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth, is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions, is the great sun that finally removes the mixed ignorance of the world, is the quintessential butter from the churn of the middle of Dharma. For all those cast dwelling on the path of conditioned existence, who wish to experience abundance of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy, and it shall place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, and while the world to be guests, at a festival of temperate and ultimate delight, may gods, demigods, and all be joyful. Okay, direction prayer. Let us pray that His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the Son of the world, who brings, with the source of ultimate joy and happiness, harmony in the world. Let's pray that whatever merit that we get that out of having to the aspiration Bodhicitta vow, that His Holiness have an extremely healthy, long life, but so that we continue to reap the benefit of receiving blessings, whole world could continue to receive blessings from His Holiness. No doubt all these last 90 years, particularly since His Holiness is coming to India, till today, from that till today, no doubt the whole world has benefited tremendously on the global level, on the leaders level, on the leadership level. The leaders, no doubt, they've been hearing what His Holiness has been teaching. has been encouraging, inspiring others, compassion, 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 dialogue, 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 so forth. So for these leaders, if the degree of creating wars on others is like 80%, His Holiness says they have been hearing these, is minimized to 60. So it's because of His Holiness' presence that the pace, the degree to which the conflicts, wars happen in the world is much, much, much less because of the presence of His Holiness, because of constantly these leaders. I remember when Obama received the Nobel Prize, I was watching his Nobel speech on that day. And what he said, I sense that many important points that he raised, they were all what he actually copied from His Holiness's speeches. Because these people, the leaders, smart leaders, they were actually watching His Holiness's teachings, watching His Holiness, listening to His Holiness. So therefore, they are being transformed, and they create a difference to the people. So therefore, even the people who with a cold heart, and these people listen to His Holiness, their cold heart also becomes softer. Or the action that they see may be very cruel, the cruelty, their degrees, different degrees. Say if the degree that you are seeing now today is like 60%, if not His Holiness, would have been 80%. So this is a benefit unseen, but yet this is the benefit of His Holiness' presence in the world. So let us all pray for His Holiness's the longevity, His Holiness to live like the 30 more years for the benefit of the world, that the world continues to reap the benefit, that we receive the blessings and the benefit from His Holiness' presence. Okay. And also let's pray that all the wars in the world, they stop, and that all the unnecessary conflicts, the domestic violence, injustices, they all stop. Then that the world sees a better, more lively, more compassionate, more harmonious world to blossom. So with this mind, and that people, the belief, the confidence in compassion, universal compassion, continues to flower in the minds of all the sentient beings. And with the desire, with the aspiration to learn the wisdom, to acquire the wisdom, to see that everything is dependent, originated. So with this mind, let us recite the following verses together. I dedicate the merit thus gathered to the realization that is in the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine, scripture, and insight. May in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and complete all the stages of the path, renunciation, Bodhicitta, perfume, and from my 2 collections, vast space that have amassed for a great length of time, may I become the sheep-eating Buddha for all those whose minds, wisdom, eyes blinded by ignorance. Okay, we'll recite the Buddha sacrament praise. Okay, audio, with the audio. Okay, offline participants, we don't have this for you, but online participants, we have it, screen sharing. Okay, Bodhicitta. Okay, thank you, all of you. And so those of us who have time, is not for those for whom it's not too late for you. You can recite Buddha mantra or Muni Muni Ma Mani Soha or any other mantras that you recite on this occasion. It says that on these special days, sacred days, if you do any kind of ritual, that will be multiplied greatly. So keeping that in mind, let's do that. So now I hand over to our program coordinator, Babajanla. This corona, it is change out.
Oh, thank you very much, Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul, for your profound and insightful teaching for this evening. Your words have offered us deep wisdom and inspiration to reflect upon and apply in our daily lives. We are truly grateful for your time, guidance, and compassionate presence. With this, we have come to the end of today's session, and I would like to inform all the offline participants that we have prepared talk for each and everyone. For that, may I request my colleagues to please come up and help to distribute the talk. And we also prepare DC and tea in the gallery room. So please feel free to serve yourself. And for the online participants, we are honored to have you at Tibet House later. To have Sola.
Thank you so much, Geshe. Thank you, Tibet House.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Geshe. Thank you, Tibet House.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Geshe. Thank you.
See you next time. Thank you, Kishila. Thank you, Tibet House
Thank
team.
you, Tibet House.
Thank you very much, Geshe. Thank you very much, Tibet House. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Isla Kadinche.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you, Kashila, and thank you, Tibet House. Thank you to everyone, and thank you for the translator.
Thank you, Tibet House.
Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe. Thank you, Tibet House. Thank you, Dharma brothers and sisters.
Recording stopped.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.